Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going through the aftermath of the UFC 319 card that finished last night. Pretty good card overall. A lot of good finishes. Um, Two spinning back elbow finishes. You don't see that very often. So, yeah, let's get into it. There was a lot of surprises for me on this card. I did pretty well on the card overall, picks wise. It's just really hard to see a lot of those finishes coming that happened last night, right? A lot of unexpected things happened. But yeah, overall, the card delivered. I expected it to deliver, and it did. So let's jump in. Let's get started with the main event. Khamzat Chimaev absolutely dominates Dricus du Plessis. I had Chimaev initially by decision, but I thought there was going to be a bit more resistance from du Plessis with Chimaev. I thought he was going to maybe stuff a little bit more of the takedowns. Even take a round or two off Chimaev. Like, I honestly thought he could. I thought at one point he might hurt Chimaev on the feet, but Chimaev's wrestling ultimately was going to be too much. And that was like the understate. That was like a huge understatement. Like, his wrestling was too much rounds 1 through 5. Now, Dricus, I do think Dricus got the last. I give Dricus the last round. Just because, well, I don't know. It's iffy, but like Dricus showed some life at the end of the round, but like from start to finish, just pure domination. Dricus du Plessis had no answers for Khamzat Chimaev throughout the night. Like, it was just too easy. And typically you see, like, almost everybody Chimaev's fought before du Plessis has given a little bit more pushback on the takedown attempts, right? That's why Khamzat, coming into this fight, Khamzat had about a 47% takedown accuracy. And the reason for that is because his initial shot is to set up the real shot where he does take his opponent down, right? Like that first shot, he'll shoot from way far out, get them against the cage, and then drag them down from there. This fight, it was just, he was in, and Dricus was on the ground, right? Dricus was on the ground. He just had no fucking answer, dude. Like, and I feel like this is maybe where camps kind of get exposed, right? Because they're, like, I would have loved to have heard, like, the conversation with Dricus's corner between these rounds and what kind of adjustments they were making, because like there was just nothing going on. Like, there was nothing going on. And I'm surprised that I'm looking at the takedowns here. I'm surprised he was only successful in 71%. Because I swear to God, Dricus stuffed like maybe 2 takedowns all night. Like, it was just, I knew it was going to be too much late. And I knew he was going to snag the first round. I thought Dricus might get round 2 or 3, make an adjustment, hurt Chimaev. But then when both guys were slowed down, Chimaev would lean on the wrestling, and that would be it. But I mean, dude, like Chimaev just made it look too fucking easy, and it just got to a point like in this fight where I was just sitting there thinking like, who's gonna beat Khamzat? Like, who has that potential? Like, who can possibly beat this guy in the middleweight division? Like, I'm trying to think about it, and I'm listening after the fight. Like, I'm listening after the fight. These analysts saying, well, I mean, there's a lot of good matchups for Hamza, RDR with the grappling heat. Stop it. RDR is not doing shit to Hamza. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like I can't see anybody beating this guy for a long time at middleweight. I was like listening. I was listening to these guys. I was listening to Chael talking about how he's still not sold on the cardio of Chimaev, and it's like, as someone who's wrestled myself, it is extremely hard to control somebody for that long, even from the top position, to prevent them from getting up, keep dragging them back down, keep getting takedowns. Mix that with the fact that Dricus is strong as fuck. So to be able to control him like that and only get 45 strikes landed on you in a title fight, I mean, 13 significant, that is insane. It's insane. I know a lot of people hate Chimaev. I know a lot of people were booing him. I've seen a lot of people bitching about how boring it was, and he's just another nut hugger. And it's like, look, I get it. It wasn't the most exciting title win, but like the fact that he was able to control a guy like Dricus for that long, I mean, dude, I think this guy's going to be champ for a long time. I'm like sitting here looking at potential matchups for him, and I think, I mean, Imavov, I might have to. I'm going to have to eventually change who my next future champs are going to be. I made a video about that like a month or so ago. I had Imavov. I don't know if Imavov does it. I think Imavov is probably one of the more interesting matchups for Khamzat moving forward. Fluffy Hernandez, like people are talking about how Fluffy could potentially wear Khamzat out. Not likely, dude. I don't think Fluffy lands a single takedown on this guy. I don't think Fluffy's able to take Khamzat down. Like, I don't think he's able to stop Khamzat from controlling him. It's just like, dude, like these guys just are not used to this level of grappling, right? Now I know we have like a title fight with Islam and JDM coming up towards the end of the year. Khamzat's expressed interest of potentially moving back down to capture second belt at welterweight. Take my money, dude. Khamzat Chimaev, Islam Makhachev probably has the potential to be the biggest fight of all time. So, yeah, complete domination by Khamzat Chimaev. I think he answered. If there was any fucking questions on the cardio, he answered it. It's extremely hard to control somebody like that for 25 minutes who's that strong and physical like Dricus. I know Dricus doesn't have, the wrestling credentials that some of these other guys have. But, like, to be able to do that and hardly take any damage in a title fight like that, insane, dude. Like, it's going to be hard to see anybody beating Khamzat anytime soon, at middleweight at least. So, solid work by Khamzat. It was dominant, whether you like it or not, whether it was boring or not, it was just fucking dominant. It's, and he showed the ability to go 25 minutes. That was not easy to control Dricus for 25 minutes. Trust me, as a wrestler, trust me. It's not easy controlling somebody. It's not fucking easy. It's tiring. It's still tiring. It doesn't look like it, but it is. So, yeah, dominant victory by Khamzat, and I don't know. This might be the next great champion at middleweight. I could see him getting at least as many defenses as Adesanya had. Like, that was like, what, 4 or 5? Like, at least, unless he moves up earlier and goes for the second belt, because that seems to be kind of the popular option right now. So, yeah. All right, co-main. I had Lerone Murphy winning a decision because, like, dude, like, I don't think anybody saw this coming from Lerone, right? Nobody saw this coming. Because, like, the last 3 fights, right, you had Edson Barbosa, decision. You had Dan Ige, decision. You had Josh Emmett, decision. And most of them were kind of like, they had their moments, but they were overall boring. So I think Lerone, he just kind of got labeled that point fighter, Kind of like a Leon Edwards, a guy who just stays back at range and just outpoints guys, gets a technical decision. But, like, man, like, right off the, like, one thing I noticed about Lerone Murphy is just, dude, the energy, the mindset was different in this fight. Like, Pico was doing good early. He was coming in, ripping to the body, taking Lerone Murphy down. And then, like, after a few minutes went by, you started seeing Lerone throwing fight-ending shots. Like, that flying knee he landed on Aaron Pico when Pico came in was nasty. It was like, it was, after a few minutes, you got that, you really got that, what's the word I'm looking for? There was a vibe that, like, Lerone Murphy he wasn't fucking around, dude. Like, he wasn't trying to get, like, some pitter-pat decision, right? He was throwing fight-ending shots. He was a lot sharper, a lot nastier. And, Pico impressed me, but, like, it was bound to happen, dude. Because everybody talks about he's been boxing since he was a young boy. He has this wrestling ability, these wrestling credentials, and it's like, that's basic, though. Boxing, wrestling is shit we saw people succeed with, like, 10 years ago in the UFC, right? Which is why he got caught, because this is MMA, and Lerone, yeah, your boxing wrestling is good. How about defending against a spinning back elbow? Which is exactly what happened when Pico came in. He was a little bit over-aggressive. He wasn't protecting that chin as well as he should have. He's kind of a guy you can tell he's used to being the hammer, not so much the nail, right? He doesn't have an ability to be the nail. He's not very defensive. And Lerone timed that spinning back elbow perfectly when Aaron Pico came in. Put him out cold. And I mean, it wasn't just out cold. That dude was like, they were prying this guy's fucking mouth open for like a couple minutes after that. He was flatlined on the ground, and like they were trying to pry his fucking mouth open to get his mouth guard out of his mouth. Like he was snoozing, dude. He took a cat nap. Aaron Pico took a cat nap, dude. So, man, Lerone Murphy, like, I mean, that's 9 in a row now. Like, and he needed this, dude, because like those last 3 decisions have kind of been subpar, right? Like the Ige fight, even like Ige had his moments and took a round off him. That was like a closer fight. Josh Emmett took like what 2 rounds off him. Ultimately, Lerone controlled the majority of the fight, but there was nothing that stood out about this guy. Like, yeah, he was good. We all knew Lerone Murphy was good. He was technical, well-rounded, well-conditioned. So yeah, man, he needed this, and it's like you have to give him the title shot after this. 9 in a row, steps up on a big card, short notice, 3-week notice, and this dude comes in shredded up and has a performance like that, dude. You have to give this guy a title shot. And like, I don't know, like my mindset's kind of changed on Lerone, dude. Like, I went from thinking, oh, this guy's never going to be champ, no chance in hell, to like, dude, I'm thinking this guy gives Volkanovski at this point in his career a hard time. Seriously. I still don't know how that fight would go. It's just too far out. They're talking about December, potentially. Dude, I mean, I think we should prepare for a world where Lerone Murphy becomes champion. Seriously. He's big, he's strong, he's well-rounded. He's got good scrambling ability. Like, Aaron Pico took him down over and over again. He was bouncing up fairly quickly. His timing is good. I mean, dude, that timing was insane. Like, he's very technical. I don't know, dude. He might beat Volk. Like, I'm a little bit worried for Volk with this guy now. Seriously. I'm worried for Volk. Like, I think we've all been talking about, like, the Movsar Evloevs. You know, we've talking about all these other guys. I know Aaron Pico's been having a lot of hype. We had a lot of hype coming into this fight, you know, this week. Like, we're talking about these other guys like Movsar, like Aljo, Arnold Allen. We talk about these guys, you know, Yair. But Lerone Murphy's that dark horse who's just came out and shocked everybody. And it's like, dude, this guy's a problem. Seriously. This guy is a problem, and there is a good chance he wins that belt. For sure. There's a good chance he wins that belt. I feel like he's... Nah, I was going to say he's a better version of Diego Lopez, but I think he's a tougher fight than Diego Lopez for Volk. Diego Lopez had big power, but he's kind of, you know, reckless and not as technical. Like, this is a much more high IQ fighter with Lerone Murphy. So, dude, that's going to be an interesting one in September. But, yeah. And now on the Aaron Pico side, dude, props. Like, Aaron Pico was winning that fucking fight. Make no mistake. It was bound to happen. Like, him, like, I don't know, potentially getting caught with the way he was fighting and the way, like, in the shots Lerone was coming back with, because they were nasty counters. Like, he was trying to put Aaron Pico away early. But, dude, Aaron Pico, like, I think he's better than Patricio Pitbull. I think he's better than Patchy Mix. I think he's better than both those guys. And I know both those guys went the distance in their debut, their UFC debut. But, like, in that short amount of time, like, Aaron showed me, obviously there's a hole with the defense, right? He needs to be more defensively sound. He needs to be a bit more cautious waiting in like that against these guys. But, like, dude, I think he's better than both of those other guys who've made their debuts out of Bellator. Like, I think he has the ability to be a top 10 featherweight, for sure. Like, he showed a lot of potential early. I don't know. I don't know if he lived up to this big hype, but I don't know, man. I think Aaron Pico, like, I think he's going to bounce back from this, and I could see him being a top 10 featherweight. Do I see him being a champion? No. But if he can make some serious adjustments, like, I don't see any reason why Aaron Pico can't be a top 10 featherweight in the UFC, because, dude, he was winning that fight. He showed a lot of potential there. It's just that defense, man. Like, you can't get away with that shit in UFC like you could in Bellator. You can't get away with being over-aggressive and wading in like that, not protecting your chin. You know, it was just, that's going to happen, especially with guys like Lerone Murphy, right? Like, and I said this coming in, like, he's going to struggle with the real technical guys, you know, your Volkanovskis, Arnold Allens, Lerone Murphy, like those guys that are super technical, you know, he's gonna struggle with. I honestly thought like that Movsar fight was his path to the title. Because like I think he could have fucking beat Movsar. I really do. With that wrestling ability, I don't think Movsar's out wrestling him. I think he's got better cardio than Aljo. Aljo out wrestled Movsar, but Aljo just completely was pretty gassed by round 3. Aljo's cardio sucks. Like, let's be honest. His cardio sucks. I don't think Aaron Pico's cardio sucks. Honestly, it's crazy to think that if he was fighting Movsar, then actually the guy who was ranked number 1 in the division, I think he would have gotten a title shot off of that. I think he would have beat Movsar. I just think Lerone's a harder matchup. Seriously. Like, so that's going to be an interesting fight with Volkanovski and Lerone moving forward, but nasty finish by Lerone. You know, and that's good for him, man. I know he needed this, and especially on the biggest stage, because I think last fight was in the Apex with Emmett. It was very underwhelming. It was like, cool, you won. That was a really boring fight. That was a boring pitter-patter decision. Gets his big moment here on short notice against a guy with a lot of hype like that. Dude, it's perfect to set him up for that title shot. So, you know, I don't see... If he doesn't get this title shot, then it's... I don't know, man. If he doesn't get this title shot, I don't know what to say. It's you know, you have to at this point, and I think they will. I think they'll give him the shot, and dude, that's going to be an interesting one for sure. So nice work to Lerone. Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates. Man, I thought Jeff Neal was going to put it on him, dude, but it's from the jump. He just struggled with the range of Carlos Prates. Like he was getting caught on the end of the punches. Like the keys to victory for him were getting inside, getting past the range, right? Getting inside into the pocket and lighting Carlos Prates up. I thought he'd be able to do that really good. He struggled with the range, dude. He just couldn't get inside those punches, and he got caught at range all night with Carlos. And it's like you can't stay on the end of Carlos's punches, man. Like he's too dangerous. He's too well rounded. You know, he was landing spinning back kicks to the head, to the body, chopping at his legs. Like, Jeff just struggled all night, man. He just did not look like he could figure Carlos out. You can't figure Carlos out. You get stuck out there on that island at range with him. It's just a matter of time before he puts you away. I was skeptical of Carlos coming into this fight, but, like, dude, I got to give him his respect now. He looked good. He controlled the range. And then he put him away with a spinning back elbow, right? Perfectly timed. Walk-off KO. Sick right before the bell. And he just knew, man, as soon as he felt the connection. Like, you see Carlos in these past fights, like, he'll land a combo and he'll be like, ooh! Like, he knows it's nasty when he lands. And he knew it. Right as he landed that elbow, he just started walking off. He's like, you're done, bro. That's it. That's all she wrote. I know he's trying to also get on that card, in October. I think is it in Rio? I know they were talking about it. I can't remember where it was. But, yeah, man, sick finish from Carlos Prates. You know, pretty one-sided, like he did his thing. Jeff landed some good shots here and there, but, dude, Carlos was landing the better shots all night. You know, it was clear that Jeff was in trouble. A few minutes into the round, like, Jeff was struggling with that range, man. He just couldn't figure it out. Carlos's movement was really good. He just looked good, man. I got to give him his respect because before this, it was like his best win was Neil Magny. You beat a guy like Jeff Neal, legit. You're a solid contender in that division, right? In the welterweight division. So I know they're talking about Carlos Prates. I know he called out Leon Edwards. Fuck, dude. I think he beats Leon Edwards with how defensive Leon is, with how, like, unaggressive Leon is. I think Carlos beats Leon Edwards. I really do. Like, again, like, there was a lot of narrative shifts for me with a lot of these guys, and Carlos is one of them, dude. I definitely think he's a legit contender. I know the Ian Gary fight didn't go his way. I'm not saying he's gonna be a champion or fight for a belt, but I definitely think he has an ability to beat, you know, a lot of guys in the top 10. In the top 10. Top 5, I don't know. We'll see. I think he beats Leon Edwards, though, out of the top 5, for sure. Right? I think where he's going to struggle is maybe the guys like the Shavkats, the Sean Brady's, the Bilal Muhammad's, the Kamaru Usman's. Like, I think he struggles with those guys in the grappling. But, yeah, man, like, he calls out Leon Edwards. Michael Venom Page says he would fight him on that Brazil card in October. And dude, as much as I want to see Carlos, as much as I, get behind guys climbing the ranks, I would not mind seeing Carlos Prates versus MVP. Take my money, dude. Take my money. Seriously. I know they're in different divisions, man, but MVP's expressed interest in moving down. Carlos Prates is right outside the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if come Tuesday, they put him at the number 10 spot. MVP is going to be ranked in the top 10 in middleweight. You want to get back down to welterweight. You say welterweight's where your heart is. Dude, I mean, that's a good way for MVP. If he comes down, he can immediately enter into the top 10 with a win over Carlos Prates. And then after that, potentially a title eliminator. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's coming over wins over Shara at the time, who was ranked. Jared Cannonier, top 10 middleweight. If he gets Carlos Prates, who's probably going to be a top 10 welterweight, one more after that. I mean, dude, I'm excited as a UFC fan, dude. There is some big shit. Like, we are back, baby. We're climbing out of this recession that's been the UFC this year, dude. Like, we have some killer fights. We have a lot of fights that, like, could be made towards the end of the year, adding on to this year as well. Carlos Prates, MVP, for example. Lerone Murphy-Volk is an exciting fight. Like, dude, we're going to have a nice stacked end of the year, and then we switch to Paramount in 2026. No more pay-per-views. Seriously. So, nice work by Prates, man. I got to put some respect on his name now. I knew he was tough, but I didn't respect him as a contender before this fight. I have to now. He beat Jeff Neal, right? Knocked him the fuck out. So, nice win by Carlos Prates. Nasty finish. All right, Jared Cannonier, Michael Page went kind of as expected. I knew Michael was going to be a little bit too elusive on the feet. Pick him apart at range all night. Drops him he drops him legitimately, I think, in the first round once. And that was fucking nasty, dude. Like, he flatlined him. Like, Jared went straight to his bag. Somehow came to. Like, Jared's in incredible shape, but the wrestling just wasn't enough, man. Like, third round was good. We saw what he did when he, got on top in the third, but those first couple rounds, he just couldn't get him down. Page was throwing him off easily. I mean, they talk about how strong Jared Cannonier is. Dude, I thought Page looked really strong. He was shucking off a lot of those takedowns with ease. Getting out of the clinch, getting back to range, picking him apart at range. Was it the most impressive performance? No. But, like, to drop a guy like Jared Cannonier, come on, that's pretty impressive. But it's like, I knew that shit was going to happen, dude. Jared just doesn't have, with his age, and the wear and tear he's taken from, like, the Imavov and the Baralho fights, he took a lot of damage with Gregory Rodriguez in his last fight. I know he came back and won, but in that first fight, he took a lot of damage, bro. Like, Jared Cannonier's taken a lot of damage, and I just knew, like, it's adding up, bro. He doesn't have much of a chin anymore. Right? Because I don't think MVP has crazy power. And he fucking flatlined him in the first round. He kind of semi-dropped him in the second. But it was more of kind of a push. And, like, Jared, he just doesn't have those wrestling credentials, man, to get the fight to the ground. He's trying a lot of body lock takedowns. A lot of just double leg takedowns. MVP was able to kind of split his stance, dig into the side of the cage to hold himself there, and then shuck him off. Spin out, get back to range, and continue working. Third round, MVP gets super aggressive, throws a crazy shot, slips, ends up on the ground, and Jared Cannonier kind of just keeps him there the rest of the round. Doesn't do much damage. Lands some decent shots here and there, but MVP was defensively responsible enough on the ground to survive that. But yeah, man. I mean, the guy that beats MVP is going to be the guy that is able to take him down. Preferably, like DC said, with singles. Just higher level guys are going to easily beat Michael Page on the ground. Like, I know he's decent at jiu-jitsu, but that's not his bread and butter. But yeah, regardless, he's top 10 at middleweight. I don't know why the fuck he's talking at welterweight. Before I heard about a potential Carlos Prates fight in Brazil, I would say stick at middleweight. Like, what are you doing? Welterweight's a much harder division. It's lined with grapplers, high-level grapplers. There's a lot less high-level grapplers at middleweight. Like, you're going to break into the top 10 at middleweight. Dude, stay put. I don't know, man. Like, he said he's willing to stay at middleweight if he has big fights. So I say, fuck it, dude. Go do the Carlos Prates fight at welterweight. Move back up to middleweight. Get a top 5 guy at middleweight. Seriously. Like, MVP, I think, looks pretty good at middleweight. I know there's maybe a little bit of a size disadvantage for him, but, bro, these guys just aren't nearly as technical. They aren't nearly as technical as the welterweights. And it's welterweight's a murderer's row for a guy like MVP. With the amount of grapplers, dude, you're talking about Sean Brady, Shavkat Rakhmonov. You got Bilal Muhammad, Kamaru Usman, right? Like, there's a lot of grapplers. Even inside the top 10, dude, there's a lot of grapplers. Michael Morales is like a former national champion. I know he knocks people out, but even he is a national champion wrestler. I would just stay put if I was MVP. Like, go do the Prates fight. That has a potential to be a fucking banger. And then go back up to middleweight, dude, and stay there. So, you know, not the craziest performance by MVP, but it was expected with Jared, with how much damage he's taken. So, yeah, it was a good performance by MVP. Not too bad. Tim Elliott, Kai Asakura. I told you. Tim was going to get it done. I didn't think he was going to get it done by submission. Let's be honest. I had Tim winning this fight by decision. I thought the wrestling was going to be there for him. That first round was a little rough for Tim. Let's be honest. Like, Kai, a big part of me picking Tim in this fight was, like, Kai just being, you know, a little bit reckless on the feet, throwing big, and then Tim ducking under and taking him down. That started, I mean, the first, like, 4 minutes of this round, dude, like, Kai came out. Kai was, like, technical and patient, picking his shots, kind of picking Tim apart on the feet, you know. Tim's goofy, awkward shit wasn't working. Kai lands this nasty leg kick to Tim's neck towards the end of the round. I think there was, like, 30 seconds. Tim catches it. Somehow catches it, takes him down, controls him for the remaining 30 seconds of the round. And it's like, I don't know, dude. That, like, completely changed Kai Asakura's mentality for the rest of the fight. Getting taken down and controlled just completely seemed to break him mentally. Because, like, he comes out second round, he's not doing anything. He's just fucking terrified of the takedown. He is hardly throwing. He's not doing much at all. He's so, like, terrified of being taken down. Starts getting a little bit wild. I mean, well, Tim starts. Let's back up here. Tim actually is able to open up since Kai is, you know, very cognizant of the takedown and being controlled on the ground. He's less aggressive. Tim starts kind of opening up a lot more. You know, you could tell after that 2-year layoff, he needed to, like, get the ring rust off. And I think the second round, that ring rust was off, dude. And he started loosening up, landing shots from awkward angles, kind of starting to pick Kai apart on the feet, landing good shots here and there. And then Kai swings aggressive. Tim ducks under, gets the takedown, and then gets a mounted guillotine, man. Like, sets it up beautifully, gets that mounted guillotine. And unless your name is Alexander Volkanovski, dude, you're not getting out of a mounted guillotine. You're just not. So that was all she wrote. Nice win by Tim Elliott, dude. He's still got it. Telling you, this is the year of the Unk. I'm glad I called this one. I should have put money on it. I've actually never bet on the fights. I like making picks, but, dude, this is one I should have put money on. Dang. Good performance off a 2-year layoff by Tim Elliott. He still got it. And, dude, Kai. This is the guy you picked to fight Pantoja in his debut? Oh, Lord. Like, that's 2 in a row for Kai. And, I mean, this is a older, past his prime, 38-year-old Tim Elliott. And he was able to do that to you, man. Like, that's rough. That's rough, but solid Unk win there for Tim Elliott. All right, Baisengior Susarkayev. Dude, this guy was the biggest favorite on the card. I don't know. There's a couple ways I feel about this. Because, like, they were hyping this guy up so much. As, you know, Khamzat Chimaev's training partner. minus 1050 favorite at close at the start of the fight. Like, they were painting this guy as like God's gift to the planet or something, man. And I didn't really see it, dude. Like, first round he lost. Eric Nolan was piecing him up in the first round. Wobbles him at the end of the round. Like, Susurkayev had his moments, right? He got a few takedowns. Super confident, really fucking cocky, and it was just getting picked apart most of that round, right? Most of that first round, Eric Nolan wobbles him at the end of round one, and it was like, dang. Round two, Susurkayev, like, again, he's confident, he's marching forward. He, like, lands a nasty, like, he lands, like, what doesn't look like a very hard kick on Eric Nolan's knee, and Eric Nolan is just, like, wobbled, rolls to the ground, and, I mean, that was the beginning of the end for him, right? Like, Susurkayev just was started beating him up on the ground, got his back, and then got the rear naked choke, and that was it, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, my initial reaction was like, this is the dude, like, who's a minus 1050 favorite? Really? Like, what a fraud. That being said, like, I think a lot of people forget that this guy fought on the Contender Series Tuesday and then fought this fight on Saturday. That is absolutely insane. And I wouldn't even doubt that plays a factor in his performance, in Susurkayev's performance. I want to be hard on him. I'm minus 1050. I still think is a bit, too much. I think he's being overrated. But like, dude, the fact that that was his second fight in a week, I don't know, man. That had to have played some sort of a factor into his performance, right? I mean, because you take damage in fights. Training camps are hard. I mean, fighting Tuesday and then Saturday is insane, dude. So I think we're going to see a little bit better performances moving forward out of Susurkayev. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he wasn't on his A game because he had a fucking fight on Tuesday in the Contender Series. That's hard to do 2 fights like that back to back in a week. That's insane, dude. That's absolutely insane. Most people don't even take a fight on a week or two's notice. This guy took a fight on like a second fight on like 4 days notice. Right? So I think that played a factor, which is why he probably didn't look as sharp as he will moving forward. I'd like to see this guy on a full training camp, see what he can do. I know he trains with Khamzat. Khamzat says he's better than him. I don't see it right now, but it's still too early, dude. And he had 2 fights in a week. We got to cut the guy some slack. He still got it done, right? He was supposed to win. He went out and got it done. He got pieced up in round 1. Didn't let that get into his head. Got the job done by rear naked choke second round. So let's see what this guy can do on a full camp moving forward. All right, Gerald Mearshart, Michal Oleksiejczuk. Dude, Michal Oleksiejczuk was nasty in this fight. Like, he was walking Gerald down, landing big shots all night. Gerald makes me laugh, dude. Gerald with his old crafty vet fucking moves, trying to, like, he would get get hit with a significant strike and then roll to his back and try to somehow pull Michal Oleksiejczuk down on the ground with him to try to lock up a crafty old fart submission. He got up at one point. I saw him like put his arms out straight and wrap them around Michal Oleksiejczuk's arms and try to hold him there to like get some sort of a trip off of it. Like, he's just this old crafty trickster, man, who just like he's gonna try his whole bag of old tricks on you, and if they don't work, then he's just fucked, right? Like, and he just was in this fight. Michal Oleksiejczuk was having none of the ground game. Gerald would get on the ground on his back. Michal would stand him up. He dropped him once, let him back up, dropped him again, and then this time he's like, "All right, dude, you're done. You're done. I'm gonna finish you off." And then he followed him down to the ground the last time and just pounded him out. And Gerald Mearshart just never stood a chance in this one, dude. Michal Oleksiejczuk, I think this dude's making a comeback. I know he's kind of had an up and down career in the UFC, but dude, since he's been training with the fighting nerds, he looks nasty. He can crack. He's got good hands, good defense, good grappling defense. Because I know Gerald Mearshart's tricky, dude. He is. Gerald Meerschaert never had any chance at initiating a grappling scenario with Michal Shake. So nice work by Michal. Dude, I say give him a ranked fight next. Seriously, like he looks like a ranked guy in my opinion. He's been in the UFC a while. Like he's clearly improved. He's clearly improved. So I'd like to see him in a ranked fight moving forward. Jessica Andrade, Lupe Godinez. I had Lupe Godinez by decision. This fight played out exactly how I thought. I thought the wrestling was going to be more of a factor for Lupe, but you know, it really wasn't. This fight played out mostly on the feet, and like, bro, these announcers were driving me crazy. Like, if you had like entered the fight from the second round on, you would think that Jessica Andrade won round 2 and 3. She did not win round 2. First round, Lupe Godinez is just piecing her up for the entire round. Like Andrade is not moving her head. She's winding up. Lupe's moving out of the way, countering nicely. And Lupe outpoints her round 1 significantly. Round 2, a little bit closer, but like Lupe's, landing the shots, outpointing her, gets a takedown, has some control for a little bit. Jessica Andrade lands a bit more shots, so round 2 was close. I still gave it to Lupe. She outpointed her. She had the takedown. She had some control time. And yeah, that's how round 2 went. Round 3, Jessica Andrade is stuffing the takedown. She's in her face, winging big punches. I think she cut Lupe in the third, I believe. She cuts her, walking her down, landing good shots. Like, Jessica Andrade won the third round, right? She won the third round. I'm surprised they didn't give Lupe... I guess it was after the bell when she got that takedown in the third, but... Like, Lupe did what she had to do. She outpointed her. There was a speed advantage, a youth advantage, right? Just an overall, like, technical advantage for Lupe Godinez. Like, Jessica Andrade is just... Dude, she hasn't improved. She does the same shit she's done the last 8 to however many years she's been in the UFC. But I'm surprised she can make that weight, dude. Her legs are so fucking big. Like, her legs are like tree trunks, dude. Like I think there was definitely a strength advantage for Andrade, but, Lupe did what she had to do. It's crazy to think, because Jessica Andrade was ranked 5th in the strawweight division going into this fight. Lupe, you have to think, is going to be there or like 6 or 7. I don't think Lupe's that impressive. I really don't. I think she's barely winning a lot of these fights. She doesn't seem to do very good with pressure. The wrestling just isn't as much of a factor for her as it was, like, in the lower end of that division, like, outside the top 10, unranked fights. Like, you used to see Lupe have much more of a dominant, like, performance, right? Much more dominant, but, like, I'm not seeing that now. And it's crazy to think that she's going to be, like, top 5 or borderline top 5. Like, if Lupe Godinez was in any of the men's divisions outside of heavyweight, she's not even ranked with the skill set she has. I promise you. Like, she's not even ranked top 15. I guarantee you she would not even be ranked in any of those divisions. So that just shows you the lack of talent there is in that strawweight division. Because, like, I just don't think Lupe is super impressive. But, I got my pick right there. She did what she had to do. All right, Chase Hooper, Alexander Hernandez. I thought Chase Hooper was going to get the decision here. Thought he would at least be able to initiate some of the grappling. He wasn't. Like, he was kind of walking forward just, with that chin up. And I do like how he was rolling a lot of the punches with Hernandez. But it's like, dude, like, Chase's takedown attempts are terrible. Like, he just doesn't have explosivity when he shoots takedowns, right? And with a guy like Hernandez, you need that, dude, because he's physically strong, right? He's a physically strong dude, and Chase just couldn't get it done. He didn't have the explosivity to finish the takedowns. Striking, he was doing okay, till right at the end, man. He got caught slipping, left that chin exposed, and Alexander, landed a nasty counter straight. I think it was a right down the pipe at the end of the round. There was 2 seconds left, and Chase Hooper was done. That was it. That was all she wrote. Nice win by Hernandez. Nice counter. Like, good hands. Like, that was a big win for Hernandez, man. Like, that was what he needed. because Chase was one of those up and coming guys that people were talking about. So, man, like Chase, he really needs to improve those takedowns. He does. Like if he's because grappling's his bread and butter. You can't do anything with the grappling if you can't get takedowns, dude. Like his takedowns look flat and stale and just unimpressive. Like he's got to improve that. Like he has to. Like he has to have more like urgency when he shoots to get that fucking fight to the ground. Look at Khamzat. There's urgency. Like Khamzat's ready to die for that takedown, dude. He's ready to die for that takedown. Like you look at the look in his eyes when he shoots. Like Chase needs to have that. I think go train with Khamzat, dude. Go do some training with Khamzat. Seriously. Or some high level wrestler. Go with Islam. You know, go with one of those guys. Like go train with one of those guys. Seriously. That's what he needs to do moving forward. But hey, it is what it is. Good performance by Alexander Hernandez. So these fights, unfortunately, I was at my son's birthday party, so I didn't get a chance to watch these. I did hear that Barbosa Close was a close fight. I thought Close would be able to knock him out. He really didn't. But, you know, obviously it was close back and forth, close on strikes. But to me, it sounds like this wasn't really a robbery. So, you know, we'll take it. I'll take the win. I'll take the right pick. Karine Silva, Dion Barboza, again, didn't watch it. Karine got it. Morales got it. So, all together on this card, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7 and 1, 8 and 1, 8 and 2, 9 and 2. 10 and 2 again. That's 10 and 2, 2 straight weeks for me, man. I'm on a roll. Right? Especially with main and co-mains. But yeah, man, like altogether, like finish-wise, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 finishes, dude. 7 finishes on that card. Really good card. That's one of those I can be happy I paid the $80 for the pay-per-view. So, you know, good card to be expected. Man, I'm super excited as a UFC fan for like the rest of this year. Next week, not so much. We got the Shanghai card, but you know, that's a brief stint in what's to come, right? We got some big fights in October. We haven't even had fights announced for like December time, right? November, December time. So super exciting to be a UFC fan. Altogether, really good card last night. Lots of finishes, back-to-back spinning elbow finishes. You don't see that very often, man, but telling you, right now it's pretty good to be a UFC fan. So that's all I got for you today. Be breaking down that Shanghai card at some point this next week. And yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts of how this fight card played out. How'd you do on picks? Overall, how do you feel moving forward? Like the rest of this year, I think it's gonna be good to be a UFC fan moving forward the rest of this year, right? Minus next week. But yeah, let me know what you think. Till next time, see ya.